Chapter 11 of The Mandalorian is here, and so is our list of Easter eggs. Here are the Star Wars references you might have missed from Season 2, Episode 3. In Chapter 11, The Heiress, Mando finally finds more of his kind. We learned exactly what those other Mandalorians were after and how they could help guide Mando on his journey to get the child home. The episode was also full of Easter eggs and references to other corners of the Star Wars galaxy.
Dank Farrik.
Once again, Mando throws out his favorite line. We still don't know what it means, but Koska Reeves also says it later in the episode.
Dank Farrik.
Trask has its fair share of different alien species, including a bunch of Mon Calamari. For Star Wars fans, the most notable of this particular species was Admiral Akbar, who appeared in multiple movies. They were also heavily featured in the Clone Wars. It certainly looks like an old Imperial AT-AT has been repurposed into a crane that pulls the Razor Crest out of the water. After the fall of the Empire, something had to be done with everything the Evil Order left behind. Trask is also full of Quarren. These squid-like species are also native to Mon Cala, where they coexisted with the Mon Calamari. They have previously appeared on screen in Return of the Jedi, Episode 2, Episode 3, and The Clone Wars. We knew she was cast this season, but this was the first official appearance of WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks on the show. Thankfully, it didn't take long to learn a lot more about her character, Koska Reeves. While this episode featured some familiar alien species, this one might be new to the Star Wars franchise. The Mamacore swallowed the child whole, which is kind of funny given that it's a Mamacore and technically had a baby inside it. That didn't last long though. This is one of the most exciting developments on The Mandalorian yet. Clan Kryze, or what's left of them, was introduced, which explains Banks' character and tied deeply to Star Wars lore. The leader of the crew was Bo-Katan, played by Battlestar Galactica's Katee Sackhoff. Sackhoff also voiced a part of Bo-Katan on Clone Wars and Rebels. Banks, who is credited by her real name Mercedes Varnado, played Koska Reeves. That character seems to be new to Star Wars lore, though there was a female captain in the Rebel Alliance named Reeves, who was mentioned in a Star Wars role-playing adventure feature in the 1994 issue of the magazine Valkyrie. Lastly, Axe Woves, played by Simon Cassianides, seems to be another new addition to the lore. He also speaks the least of the three new Mandalorians. Bo-Katan calls Mando a child of the Watch, and explains that the Watch was a cult of religious zealots that followed the way of the Mandalore. We think she's referring to Death Watch, a splinter group of Mandalorians that opposed the Mandalorian government, which was led by Satine of Clan Kryze at the time. Which would make sense, as we saw in a flashback in Chapter 8, young Din Djarin was rescued by Death Watch, who he watched take down battle droids. This Imperial officer is played by actor Titus Welliver, who you may recognize from shows like Sons of Anarchy or The Good Wife, or as the Man in Black from Lost. In the first appearance of Moff Gideon this season, the character appears as a hologram and utters the words,
"Long live the Empire."
At that point, the officer played by Welliver attempts to crash the ship, killing everyone on board for the good of what's left of the Empire. In a last-ditch effort to reach the cockpit of the ship, Mando walks straight into a firefight, tossing a pair of thermal detonators to blow up what's left of the stormtroopers. Bo-Katan is looking for the Darksaber, which is currently in the hands of Moff Gideon, as we saw in the Season 1 finale. In Star Wars Rebels, Bo-Katan accepted the Darksaber from Clan Ren, took the mantle of leader, and united several Mandalorian clans. It's been reported for months, but now we know it's happening. In Mando's final scene with Bo-Katan, she sends him off in search of the Jedi Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka was the former Jedi Padawan of Anakin Skywalker, who has been featured in the Clone Wars and Rebels, but the Mandalorian will mark her first live-action appearance. Bo-Katan has given Mando a location to search her out, and he's on his way. That doesn't necessarily mean we'll see Ahsoka in the next episode, but our fingers are crossed. Also, she's worked with Master Yoda, so she might be helpful to the child. What did you think of Chapter 11? Do you think we'll see Ahsoka soon? Let us know in the comments below, and subscribe for more Mandalorian videos.